Hey, welcome back. In this video, we're going to be talking about, let's see here, we have 9 Apollo features for your Shopify store. Now, you may be wondering, what the heck does Apollo have to do with Shopify? We're going to get into it in this video. I think there's a big opportunity that you have with Shopify and Apollo, and I went ahead and took some notes here. Number one is, if you don't know what Apollo is, let me just hop into that real quick. It is a software that allows you to scrape the internet for people's email addresses and information about their companies. Plainly put, you're able to basically target anybody at any company. They even have this really cool Chrome plugin where you can plug it in and access people's information. If you just go to a website and say you're looking at, say you go to google.com, maybe not Google because Google's like the search engine, but let's say you go to drebeats.com. You can see who works at Drebeats, and not only who works there, but also what their email is, phone number, and all of that. And it runs on like this token system, so you may need to pay for a plan to be able to access certain people's information, but it's pretty straightforward. The reason why I think it makes sense to use this if you're using Shopify is because if you're seriously thinking of boosting your sales and staying ahead of the competition, you're going to need to make sure that you are looking at different approaches. Doing what everybody else is doing is not going to get you to where you want to go, especially in e-commerce where it's super competitive, and in any industry where you can just get into it by just paying $1 and launching a website. Like, you're going to have to do some heavier lifting than that. Number one, in this video, we're going to be diving into around the 9 things that you must know. These must know features about Apollo that will enhance your sales strategy is seeing how your whole sales process works. Now, specifically, I think a lot of these tactics and strategies here are going to apply to a Shopify store looking to grow their B2B strategy. Now, if you're looking to grow your Shopify store, let me first say this. There's B2B, there's wholesale, and there's D2C. D2C is what you would traditionally think about when you think of growing a Shopify store. Now, that is a great way to grow it. You're able to get one-to-one. You're able to get that customer to come back, hopefully, and build up that customer lifecycle and grow their LTV. But what if you sell these mugs like I have in my hand, and say you want to go to a coffee shop, and instead of going to one coffee shop and trying to sell this mug to one person, what if you just sold it to the brand that sells? What if you sold directly to coffee shops, and instead of selling one mug to a happy customer that's sitting in the coffee shop, what if you sold it to the coffee shop and they could resell it from there? That would be considered wholesale, where you're selling it to them at retail and then they're able to sell it to others. But let's say we went ahead and sold it to the people that work at the coffee shop to use in their shop for their customers. So that would be more of a B2B play, because they're not technically going to resell the product themselves. Now, if you sold it to a customer, that's going to be D2C. So those are the 3 different ways. But why I'm going to share with you Apollo for Shopify stores is because I think there's a huge, massive opportunity for Shopify stores to look at expanding their revenue by growing the B2B channel of the business or wholesale through using Apollo. So let's get into the 9 things that I promised you. Number 1 is going to be a centralized dashboard. By the way, number 7, actually no, not number 7. Number 4 is probably one of my most favorite ones in here. But let me hop into the first one. Centralized dashboard. You have this dashboard in Apollo that's super great. In one place, you're able to see how many leads you reach out to, the deal stages, and all of that stuff. Number 2 is going to be email sequencing. So you can automate email follow-ups and nurturing and really reaching out to people and following up with them inside of Apollo. You can do things like follow up with people on LinkedIn. You can automate the follow-up on people in email. You can do really a little bit of everything in there when it comes to follow-up. So that way you're not personally having to message each and every person. We're going to continue to use our mugs example here. Let's say we had a list of 100 people who were like, these would be great shop owners to follow or to get to use our product. Now, what we might do is reach out with an email to one. But if we don't have this dialed in process, it's going to be hard to really build up that trust over time and get to moving people down that stage of the funnel. Now, instead, what we want to do is basically build out a process to make sure that we are getting these people to come back time and time again to read our information, to learn more about us, and to reach them at the right time in the right place. We might want to automate a message on LinkedIn, one on email, and maybe a call from there. Well, you can build out these automated sequences. That's basically where the sales engagement piece comes in, where you can engage the potential customers, nurturing them along the way across those different touch points. So that's number 4. Number 5 is going to be data enrichment. Data enrichment is just a fancy term that is just saying, hey, we're going to reach out to Joe at PepsiCola.com. Now, Pepsi Cola, we have Joe's email, but we don't have his phone number yet, and maybe we don't have his company's sales history. They can pull all of that down to the news about any funds you've raised and things like that. And so that's what they mean by data enrichment, is they'll fill in that picture of the customer, and that's number 5. That allows you to be able to understand who is the decision maker here and how do we get to that person. Next is going to be number 6 around analytics and reporting. For analytics and reporting, this is where you measure the performance with advanced analytics, everything from opening the email to did we call and were we able to leave a message? If we left a message, where does that message, does call recordings baked into calling? There's anything you would want to report on in here under this number 6, analytics and reporting, is in there. Now we have 3 more to go, but before we go ahead and finish up those, I just want to make sure that you are aware that there is a link down below. If you're looking to get started with Apollo, you can hit the link down below and check it out for yourself. It's a great tool. I've used it for a long time, and even going on brand side, I've been able to use this with brands, with a brand that I'm full-time with, that we were able to use this to scrape and understand who is our customer, how do we see how many there are, and it really helped us even in understanding some of the demographics around our core consumers. So we were wanting to figure out how many of this type of worker are there in the US. We were able to just search in there, looked up US, looked up company size and everything, and then it allows us to get a better understanding of our actual TAM, which is the total addressable market for our product and our service. So really would encourage you to check that out. Hit it in the link below. Now, number 7 is integration. So number 7, it seamlessly connects to everything, basically. Like it connects to any of your cold email tools, any of your tech stack around HubSpot or Salesforce, whatever you're already using, chances are you can probably connect it here. And the last 2 are team collaboration. You can't get much done by yourself. By the way, plug for a great book, Who Not How. That is like the book for me when it comes to delegating and elevating to other people. It's been a huge book I've read time and time again, as well as Buy Back Your Time. But Who Not How by Dan Sullivan, and then the other one is Buy Back Your Time by Dan Martell. Both great books, very similar around not continuing to try to do everything yourself, but building a team out. That's going to be key here, especially with the team collaboration piece. It'll allow you to build out notes within a customer file and tag your teammates and assign different things to different people across sequences. So maybe I'm the guy who calls people, but Jeff is the guy who emails people. Like, you can build all that out in there. Lastly, there's a mobile app, which allows you to manage your sales on the go with their app. I didn't even actually realize before I did this video that they have a mobile app, to be honest. I don't use it much, just to put that plainly. That's why this one was number 9. But at the end of the day, it can't hurt to have an app and be able to take this thing wherever you go. So if you're ready to transform the way that you do cold email and outreach and really grow your Shopify store, if you're looking to grow into B2B or wholesale, I think Apollo is a super slept on tool. People don't really talk about it much. And instead, they're all about like FAIRE, FAIRE for Shopify and some other tools like that. But I really think that Apollo is a tool that you've been sleeping on. Now, before you go ahead and check out one of these other videos, make sure that you hit the link down below if you're looking to learn more about Apollo. I think they have a free trial. You can check it out. And I'd encourage you to see, based on the customers you're trying to reach, like you can go reach that decision maker, I bet, in the next 30 seconds by just hitting that link, creating a free trial, and going and seeing their information. Don't tell them I sent you. Peace. Oh, and I almost forgot. The promise here, the pinky promise here, is that we are doing our best to help and basically help out 2025 D2C e-commerce entrepreneurs, people growing Shopify stores, helping them to get value from these videos by the year 2025. So 2025 by the year 2025. And the only way I know that I've done that is by you leaving a comment in the description below. And by doing that, it will let me and the algorithm know that you want to see more of this content. And if somebody who can get value from this, whether they have a store doing under $1 million a year on Shopify, that's like the ideal person to watch this channel. It's basically like them having a free consultant, except they don't have to pay them. And it's me sharing everything I know of helping those brands for free on the internet, because I do believe that the future of the internet is going to be free and brands won't have to pay agency owners and all these other people and consultants and certain contractors to do stuff, but they can truly learn from people like myself on the internet. And I hope to be one of those people. I don't see you in the next video. Thank you so much for your time and appreciate you. Double or nothing. Peace.